What is going on, my fellow movie nerds and geeks alike? Are you making a horror movie and want a nice murder mystery so you need to conceal the identity of your killer so no one knows who it is? Well, strap on your helmets and slap on your leathers because
oh my god!
Today we are going to be talking about the odd phenomenon involving horror movies using a killer that has a bit of a motorcycle gear fetish.
Bruh.
It protects, it looks cool, it's aerodynamic, and it's a cheap, easy solution to hiding your killer's identity. Why struggle with being creative and hiring a big makeup team to come up with some elaborate mask, or hiring an elaborate lighting crew to make sure that every time the killer's in the shot, he's hiding in the shadows? Or how about even hiring a great cinematographer to make sure that he has just the right angles to make sure your killer is just out of shot? Horror trends come and go these days. We've got movies involving vampires, werewolves, killer dolls, possessed people. In today's video, we will dust off the cobwebs of the motorcycle-clad killer and dive into some films that maybe you haven't seen, or maybe you have seen. I'm sure there's dozens that I won't even mention today. After this video is said and done, leave me a comment down below about the dozens or hundreds of them that I've missed. I'm just diving into the ones I really like, and don't you worry your pretty little heads off. I'm not going to spoil too much about these movies. I just want to shine a light on them and talk about them, and just how interesting it is that they all seem to use motorcycle gear to hide their killer's identity. Alright, now that I'm about to get into it, I gotta take this gear off. This is ridiculous. This bit is stupid. Now, the one most people are probably familiar with because of the artwork is Umberto Lenzi's 1989 film, Nightmare Beach. After the execution of a motorcycle gang leader convicted of murder, a helmeted biker goes on a killing spree during spring break in Florida. Now, yes, this one is directed by Giallo directing legend Umberto Lenzi. This one is so much fun, filled with ample amounts of sleaze. I mean, it does take place during spring break, and we all know what happens over spring break, but it's great. It's just so much fun. The killer is obviously donning like a full face helmet, leathers, riding into town on a motorcycle. Is very fitting that it takes place in Florida, because if you are an American, you know there's Daytona Bike Week down there. This makes perfect sense. It stars genre legend John Saxon, who obviously you remember him in Nightmare on Elm Street, but he was in countless other Italian horror films. And you also get Michael Parks in there. He's done a few genre classics as well. This one is just oodles and oodles of fun. It definitely blends Giallo and slasher together in some way. And what's really fun about it is, if you're like a slasher movie fan and kind of want to dip your toes into Giallo films, this is a perfect place to start, which I'm sure a lot of people have done because of this film. There's also like a lot of really cool graphic deaths in this one, some involving like choking out, and the killer has this weird electronic method of electrocuting people with its motorcycle. It's fucking insane and awesome and just batshit crazy, as most late 80s slasher films were. And like I said, it's spring break, so there's ample amount of 80s boobage and sleaze here. And there's a really cool tidbit in here. The motorcycle gang involved in this film are called the Demons, and if you look at their logo colors, it is demons, like the film from Lamberto Bava. It's like literally the same font and everything. Just a cool little callback and like homage to that film, I'm sure. But yeah, man, Nightmare Beach, motorcycle killer attacking people on spring break. There's not much more you could ask for. And another one in the 80s, baby, The Wraith. In a small town in Arizona, a mysterious man descends from the sky and manifests in a sports car and targets a local, violent road racing gang of motorheads headed by a ruthless bully who'll do anything to get what he wants. This is one of those movies that is just dripping in 80s nostalgia. If you're a fan of like 80s schlocky movies and you haven't seen The Wraith, you need to fucking correct that immediately. This has so many awesome iconic characters from the 80s. The wardrobe is super fucking 80s. The cars are super 80s. And it is just schlocky 80s goodness, man. You got Charlie Sheen in here as one of the main characters, as like a sort of spirit man who has been sent back to Earth to vanquish the people who killed him in his past life. And they race people on this mountain road and people die. The killer, who is actually kind of more of an anti-hero in this film, he shows up in all this motorcycle gear and is racing people on this mountain to their death. It is fucking awesome. You also get Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
From Twin Peaks in here. You get Randy Quaid as this like inefficient cop trying to solve all these deaths involving motor cars. And you also get Clint Howard as like this zany member of this bully gang. It's just so much fun. And I mean, just naming all those actors, if that doesn't make you want to see it, I don't know what will. And obviously, because the killer's wearing full leathers and a full face helmet, driving in this futuristic fucking car, that's why it fits into this category here. And if you grew up watching like 80s like teen sex comedies, this kind of has like an air of that to it as well. So that's another reason to check this one out. When the credits roll on this and you just see the person driving off into that like sunset with that 80s synthesizer score, oh my god, this is one of the funnest movies you'll ever get to see. And then we've got 1974's What Have They Done to Your Daughters? A district attorney and two inspectors discover that a girl's apparent suicide is linked to a teenage prostitution ring which employs a motorcycle-riding killer to tie up loose ends. Yes, this one is part of the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy from Massimo Dallamano. It is a Giallo film first and foremost. Obviously on this cover from Arrow Video shows the killer in his full face helmet and leathers. He goes around and is wiping people out that are discovering links to this child prostitution ring. It is very dark, very, child murder is not an easy subject to tackle, and especially involving young children being put into prostitution rings just adds even more to that. This is a great Giallo film. The guy riding around on the motorcycle slicing people up with like what is essentially a giant cleaver is just fucking awesome. If you just want to check out a cool Giallo film with a very interesting killer, that's another reason to check this one out. There is a chase sequence in this one involving the killer on a dirt bike or like a motorcycle while he's like in all this gear that is just like top notch, like one of the craziest car chases you'll see in cinema history. And yeah, man, what have they done to their daughters? Look at that killer, man. He's wearing the gear. And of course, if we're talking about Giallo films involving a motorcycle gear-cladding killer, you have to talk about Strip Nude for Your Killer. After a model dies during an abortion, a figure wearing a motorcycle helmet murders her doctor and then begins to target the models and photographers from the agency she belonged to. This is an all-time sleazy Giallo film. Like, it borders on almost pornographic at times with how much sex and nudity is in this one. It is boatloads of fun. If you know me, I kind of lean more towards like the sleazy kind of Giallo films. But man, Strip Nude for Your Killer is so much fun. And obviously the killer is wearing like the full face helmet, the full leathers, and he's just going around killing anyone that gets in his way or anyone that had any involvement in the woman dying during the abortion. It is very dark subject matter. And how could I not mention the ever lovely Giallo queen herself, Miss Edwige Fenech.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Yes, she is in this film in all her glory. We love her over here. But yeah, Strip Nude for Your Killer is a beautiful Giallo film, and it's very violent, very sleazy, and just boatloads of fun. How could you not get a kick out of it? I mean, look at the name of the movie alone, like Strip Nude for Your Killer. With a title like that, it's gonna garner some attention. You just gotta see it. The reveal is a little kinda in my opinion in this one, but still, so much fun. And next up, we got 1981's Night School. A Boston police detective investigates a series of gruesome decapitations of various college co-eds committed by a helmeted, black leather-clad serial killer, which leads him to suspect a well-known anthropology professor as well as his female live-in assistant. This is a wild one that went under my radar for years. It's almost like slasher meets Giallo, much like Nightmare Beach. It is very gory, and obviously it's involving co-ed, so there's gonna be a little element of sleaze there. There is like a kill in this one at a aquarium that is just awesome, and a kill at this like diner after hours. And I mean, the killer that's wearing all the motorcycle leathers, of course, which is why it's on this list, is just awesome, and he is decapitating women. That is fucking gnarly. It is a very fun slasher film. I was mad at myself for having never seen it until late last year. It is great. Definitely one I highly recommend. And it's on the list because the killer's dressed in all the leathers. There is a swerve twist ending in this one that you'll never see coming. And then it twists again at the very end. It is just awesome. And it's just boatloads of fun. You gotta check out Night School. You knew it was coming. 1985's The Nail Gun Massacre. After a young girl is gang raped by a crew of construction workers, someone starts killing off members of the group with a nail gun. This is one you've probably heard about for years. Very cheap, very low budget, but the killer in this one is dressed in like army fatigues, a motorcycle helmet, and is wielding like this like CO2 powered nail gun and just dispatching people in very violent ways, shooting a guy over a grill and burning him alive on his like burgers and hot dogs, shooting a guy in the dick after he's taking a piss. There are some all-time amazing one-liners that like, I don't even know how they could write some of this shit. It's so ridiculous and outlandish. It's just a lot of fun. Very cheap, very low budget, so temper your expectations with this one. Ample amounts of sleaze too. It may be very low budget, but it does have that like cheapo kind of charm to it. So like if you're into movies like that, this one will be right up your alley. And the kills are pretty violent, and some of the special effects, as goofy as they are just a lot of fun. So the Nail Gun Massacre getting like a 4K from Terror Vision is just hilarious to me because the quality is just never gonna be completely there. Hearing the killer say these one-liners as he's about to put a nail gun through someone's like dick, it's something you have to see at least once. The killer reveal's not all that spectacular, again with this one.
Just pissed me off.
But you don't really care. You just want to see this guy offing people with this fucking CO2 nail gun anyway. Nail Gun Massacre, low budget classic involving a motorcycle gear-clad killer. Alright guys, so that was my list of motorcycle geared killers in horror and horror adjacent films. This is what I came up with, this is what I own, these are the films I really like. There are probably dozens, if not hundreds more, so do let me know down in the comments all the obvious choices that I maybe missed. I mean, hell, I could have threw Rotor on this list, but that's a little more action, or maybe even The Exterminator, I don't know, but do let me know down below the ones I missed. I'm sure there are so many, and there's gonna be fucking plenty more down the road, I'm sure of it, because like I mentioned in the intro, it is such an easy way to conceal your killer's identity, and you want to keep it a mystery. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for always watching our silly videos. This one is exceptionally silly. I just figured I'd never seen anyone talk about this kind of weird phenomenon. Hell, these could all be in the same universe. Who the hell knows?
Oh, Jesus, God, no.
See you in a new video shortly, I am sure of it. I love you all, and always remember, the horrors persist, but so do we. Adios, guys. See you next time.